There's still no deal, but there is hope this morning that school can start as scheduled on Tuesday. The provincial government has proposed a truce and hopes mediation can solve the ongoing labor dispute. For more on this, Greg Harper joins us live from BCTF headquarters in Vancouver. Greg.
Good morning, Kyle. The fact that the two sides are talking here and face-to-face has to give some parents some optimism as we get awfully close to when the school year is supposed to start. Big meeting in Victoria yesterday involving the president of the BCTF, Jim Eicher, Education Minister Peter Fassbender, and the government's chief negotiator, Peter Cameron, as well. The result, no deal. But the two sides are meeting again today in Richmond with mediator Vince Reddy. The government has asked teachers to return to classes for 2 weeks in hopes a deal can be reached in mediation. The province also wants the BCTF to put aside legal grievances after winning 2 court rulings against the government on class size and on composition.
What our hope is, if the minister has some ideas, that those ideas be brought to a mediation table by BCPC with Vince Reddy. And so let's get mediation going tomorrow. That's our hope.
There is nothing revolutionary in my proposal, but what I did do is put those elements together to move us to the place where we are closer at the table, so mediation is warranted.
So it will be exploratory talks that take place today with mediator Vince Reddy. He will decide if the two parties are close enough in order for mediation to begin. Education Minister Peter Fassbender will be in our studio this morning at 6:40. We have reached out to the BCTF in hopes to get Jim Eicher on at some point this morning. We have yet to hear back from the Teachers Union on this request. Kyle?
Greg Harper live at BCTF headquarters this morning. Greg, thanks for that. Teachers are remaining on the picket line this morning. Yesterday, these instructors at a Coquitlam Middle School staged a honk-in to rally support from parents and other members of the public. If school does not resume on Tuesday, there's concern not just for classroom activities, but for sports and after-school programs as well.
We've really been through the ringer the last couple months. There's been so many, hopes dashed in terms of finally being able to get an agreement. And, that's what people should expect the next week. I would say expect an awful lot of ups and downs. We, still have to be optimistic. We believe that a deal can be reached if government's willing to roll up its sleeves with us, but expect a lot of ups and downs in the coming days.
Coquitlam teachers have also been planning a protest tomorrow outside the office of MLA Linda Reimer. Well, a young man is recovering after a stabbing in East Vancouver early this morning. Police are not revealing any details on this incident as of yet, but we do know it happened at around 1:30 this morning near Main Street and East 22nd Avenue. The victim is a young man, and he was taken away on a stretcher. There's no word, though, if a suspect has been taken into custody. At least 2 people have been hurt during a stabbing at an apartment at Carolina and East 7th Avenue in Vancouver. This came in at around 2 o'clock this morning. 2 people have been injured. A witness on scene says he saw a man breaking an apartment window before the people inside were hurt. There are unconfirmed reports suggesting the man was a father trying to get inside the home. Well, the battle over cetaceans at the Vancouver Aquarium is not over, at least for the people who run the facility. They are heading to court. The aquarium has launched a legal challenge over the Vancouver Park Board's control over its cetacean program. Last month, commissioners voted to ban the breeding of mammals at the facility. The decision was seen as a compromise, with some calling for a complete ban on cetaceans in captivity. But aquarium administrators don't want the board dictating how the creatures are handled.
Those that disagree with the you could say the ethics of keeping cetaceans are free not to visit. But the Parks Board, we do not believe, has the authority to mandate what we do in that regard.
The Park Board has reminded the aquarium it's located on public land, and the board is the legal landlord of the site. There's a temporary reprieve for community gardeners along the Arbutus corridor on Vancouver's west side. CP Rail has agreed to suspend its track work in the next 2 to 3 weeks to discuss the future of the corridor with senior officials from the City of Vancouver. For Marpole gardeners who have had their plots demolished, the news comes a little too late. But gardeners along the corridor are hopeful there will be some kind of resolution to at least stop CP Rail from spraying herbicides along the track.
For now, We're hopeful, but we're also aware that when they raised the gardens in Marpole at 70th, they gave the gardeners about 20 minutes notice. So if the negotiations turn sour, hopefully they won't, but if they do, it could be very quick that we lose gardens.
The city says $20 million is fair market value for the Greenway. CP Rail believes the land is worth $100 million.
Imagine 50 years from now if we needed, well, some relief for the Canada line, some opportunity to grow the city in a way that's transit-oriented. Believe me, 100 million, 500 million would seem like, well, loose change compared to what the cost would be, or more importantly, really the lost opportunity.
Well, it seems more people than ever before are using Vancouver's bike lanes this summer. A record 195,000 trips were made using the Burrard Bridge bike lane last month. That is up 21% from July of 2013. The Hornby Street separated bike lane also hit record volumes. The city has installed automatic bike counters showing how often the bike lanes are being used. Some say the $30,000 is an unnecessary expense aimed at drumming up support for Vision Vancouver ahead of the fall election. Others, though, they disagree.
What matters is what we measure, and then we make the interpretation about whether the decisions we were right and how we should allocate resources. So yeah, it really matters. And if you can also encourage more people to cycle, to walk, isn't that a good thing?